fit and fine and you are very healthy and energetic at your home. In today's class, children, we are going to start very new chapter from our science class 9, that is from biology. Okay, so we are going to study a new chapter, that is chapter 5, which is fundamental unit of life. Fundamental unit of life. In this chapter, we are going to study some basic unit of life. We are going to understand how living beings survive, what makes them survive, what is responsible for all the biological functions in our body. Okay, this chapter is, students, one of the most important yet interesting chapter of biology. I hope this class will turn out to be a great fun and informative for you all. So without wasting any time, let's start this chapter. So before starting the chapter, before actually talking about the actual detailing of cells, let us start this lecture with some basic story and some interesting story, I would say. Okay, so it was a year of 1665, as you can see here on the screen. You can see this picture of one man. Can you tell who is he? Who was he actually? Because he is no more. So this picture is of a scientist, of a great scientist who had made a great discoveries of all time, and his name is Robert Hooke. Okay, so first time in 1665 he was observing something. Okay, so he was looking a thin slice of cork. Cork is nothing but just a wooden bark. Okay, the bark from a tree. Okay, tree bark. So he was observing bark of a tree with the help of his self-designed microscope. So this picture I have taken, which is a self-designed microscope of Robert Hooke. So he was using this microscope to absorb the wooden bark or the bark of a tree. Okay, so do you know what is a microscope? So for those of you who don't know what is a microscope, children, we all know that there are few things which are very small, in size. Okay, we cannot see them with our naked eyes. So we need to use some instruments which have high resolution, and those instruments which can zoom anything 2 trillion of times. Okay, so these instruments which are used for getting high resolution of any substance, of any matter or any thing, they are called as microscopes. Okay, so with the help of such microscope, Robert Hooke was observing, okay, bark of a tree. As you can see here, that bark which comes from tree, okay, bark of the tree. So he noticed was that he observed that this bark of a tree, he was observing this bark of a tree with microscope. So he observed these small compartments, small little rooms all over the bark of a tree. Okay, he saw these rooms, okay, like that in honeycomb. You must have seen the honeycomb which is made by beehives. Have you seen that? So the internal structure of that bark looked exactly the same as honeycomb. Okay, so and he called these compartments, these small structures, as cells. Okay, so in Latin, cells means room. Okay, room or little compartments. So he was observing that bark, so he noticed these small honeycomb-like structure which he called as cell. Okay, so it was the first time that something like cell was discovered. Okay, so as you can see here that it was an English scientist. He saw cells in thin slice of cork. Okay, he observed as honeycomb-like structure and named them as cellulae or cells. Okay, and children, his discovery, okay, indicated for the first time in the history of human lives that human living organisms, or human or any other living organisms for that matter, they consist of small number of small structures or small units which he called as cells. Okay, so what is a cell? Okay, cell is a fundamental unit of life. Like all those matter, all those particles, they are made up of small particles. Yes, can you recall your chapter first, matter in our surrounding? Yes, so in that chapter we understood that every matter is made up of small particles. Yes, similarly every living organisms, they are made up of small units which is called as cell. It is the basic unit of life. Okay, it is known as the structural and functional unit. Why structural? Because every living organism is made up of it. So it is a structural unit. Why functional? Because all the functions regulates inside the cell. All the function, all the digestion process, respiration process, all these processes occur inside the cell. So that is the reason why cell is called as the structural and fundamental unit of life. Shall I repeat? Why structural? Because it is a cell by which the whole body is made up of. Okay. Why functional? Because all functions regulates inside the cell. Okay. So to make it clear to you children, let's see it here. For example, this is a human being. Okay. For example, human being. So in human beings there are many organs. Okay. There is one organ like digestive system to digest the food. Okay. Respiratory system to respire. Okay. Kidneys. There are many organs. So lungs is there. Okay. Pancreas is there. Stomach. Okay. Brain. Kidney. Heart. Okay. So these all are the organs inside our body, right? So what do you think these organs are made up of? Okay, these organs are made up of tissues. Okay, these all organs are made up of different types of tissues. Okay, and these tissues are made up of groups of cells. Okay, so for example, these are the cells. Okay, for example, these are the kidney cells. Okay, these are the cells which are present in the kidney. So if same type of kidney cells will combine with each other, okay, they will form tissues. They will form tissues. Okay, once all these tissues will combine with each other, they will make one organ, that is kidney. Okay, so that is what the use of cells. Okay, cells combine to make tissues. Okay, tissues combine to make organs. Okay, and organs combine to make any living being. Okay, so the cells which are present in our brain, they are different from the cells which are present in our lungs. They are different from the cells which are present in the stomach, kidney, heart. So all these cells are different from each other. So have you understood that why cell is the basic and fundamental unit of life? Because each and every organs, they are actually made up of small cells. Just as a building is made up of bricks, the body of all living organisms is made up of cells. Okay, each and every organ of human body, they are made up of different types of cells. Okay, basing on the cellular organization, some organisms are made up of one single cell. For example, in human beings, there are so many organs. Okay, there is lungs, there is kidney, there is heart. Okay, so to make all these organs, we need many cells. Do you think that one cell can function the work of all these organs? Can you think that one single cell can work can work as lungs, or same cell can work for heart? No, we need a lot of cells because human body is a multicellular. Okay, many, multi means many. Multi means many. So many cells, multicellular organisms. Okay. So whereas there are few organisms which are made up of only one cell, So they are called as unicellular organisms. Okay. Organisms which are made up of more than a cell, they are called multicellular. Okay. What they are called? They are called multicellular. Okay. And organisms which are made up of one cell, they are called as unicellular. Okay. Now these all are the multicellular organisms. In these organisms like animals, all the animals, they are multicellular organisms because there are many organs. Okay. There are many organs. So for making the organs, we need to have many tissues. Okay. So to make the tissues, we need a lot of cells. Okay. You would be surprised to know that in our single body, okay, in one body there can be millions and trillions of cells. Okay, so these cells die and take birth daily. Okay, you can never imagine that, or no, you can feel it. Yes, you cannot feel it because of these cells. Do you feel heavy weighted by these cells? No, because although there are millions and trillions of cells present in our body. Okay, so that's the different thing. So multicellular organisms are these, for example, animals, fungi, plants, these, and human beings also, they are multicellular organisms because they have many cells in their body. So let us have a look on the various cells in our human body. So you can see the nerve cell, okay, the nerve cell, okay, it looks like that, the nerve cell which is present in our brain, okay. So it is responsible for the structure and functioning of brain, okay, it gives all the signals to our brain. So that cell is responsible for the functioning of brain. So same type of nerve cell they combine. It is not such that in our body there is only one nerve cell. No, in our body there are many nerve cells. So many nerve cells combine to make your organ, to make your brain. Okay, so nerve cell looks like that. Fat cell in our body is skin. Okay, so skin is not made up of one fat cell. Many fat cells combine to make tissues, and those tissues come together, they make your skin. Fat cells. Okay, also the fat which is present in our body, it is also made up of cell. Bones. Okay, our human body is a skeleton of bones, right? We cannot survive, we cannot stand or run without bones. Okay, so what do you think those bones are made up of? Those bones are also made up of cells which looks like this. Now how do you come to know that bone cell looks like this? Yes, with the help of microscope. Okay, we can see the cell by using microscope. Alright. These are the bone cells. And it is not such that only one bone cell is present in your body. There is a group of bone cells which combine together to form a tissue, and these tissue combine together. They combine together. These are the tissue. They combine together and they form bones. The another one is a sperm. Sperm is also a type of cell, okay, which is responsible for the reproduction. The most important process, okay, that is responsible for the survival of any human being. Okay, so that cell which is called as a sperm cell, okay, is also a cell which is present in human body, okay, also in animals. Now this is the blood cell, okay, blood cell, you all are aware the importance of blood, okay. There are three types of cells present in our blood. Can you recall them? Recall that they are white blood cell, red blood cell and platelet. So these are the red blood cells, okay. Now ovum, okay, ovum is also a cell which is present in human body, okay. Now this is the cell which is present inside the onion. We all discussed that plants are also made up of cells, okay. So if you will take out, suppose this is an onion, if you take out one peel of onion, pull it out, thin slice of that peel, and observe it under a microscope, you will see these type of structures. These are called as cells. You can see that the onion is made up of these tiny rooms, these tiny compartments which are also called as cells, which are known as cells. And who discovered cells? Who discovered this fact that human body or any living organisms, they are made up of cell? Yes, Robert Hooke. Now these are the blood cells we have already seen. These are the smooth muscle cells. These are the cells which are present in our muscles. Okay, fat cells. Okay, sperm. We have already discussed that. Okay, now children, we all know that there are some organisms which may have only one cell to carry out all the functions. Okay, so some organisms are constituted by a single cell. Okay, all the functions, all the important functions like eating of food, digestion of food, egestion of food, all these things are carried out by one single cell. So these organisms or these living organisms called as unicellular. For example, amoeba and paramecium. Okay, paramecium. P-A-R-A-M-E-C-I-U-M. It's a printing mistake. So paramecium. Okay. Next one are multicellular. Some organisms are constituted by many cells. These organisms are called as multicellular. For example, human beings, plants, animals. Okay, because we cannot function with one cell. Okay, because there are many organs in our body. To function the various organs, we need to have lot of cells. Clear? So have you understood what is unicellular, what is multicellular? So let's have a look on these two types of unicellular organisms. The first one is amoeba and the second one is Chlamydomonas. Okay, that is Chlamydomonas. Okay, so these two are the unicellular organisms which work, which survive on one single cell. That is the one single cell only. Okay, so amoeba, it is basically a type of bacteria, or is a single cell, it is a single cell organism, amoeba. Okay, now it looks like this. So these all are pipes. So these all are its parts, not pipes. Okay, so that is pseudopodia. So these are the foot. Okay. Okay, and that is the nucleus. We will study about this, their function and their structure in bit detail in our next classes. Okay, now this is the paramecium. Okay, so these all are single cell organisms. Okay, so let's see some differences between unicellular and multicellular. You can take a snapshot of it. So unicellular, they are made up of one single cell. Multicellular, like human beings, they are made up of many cells. All the functions like food, respiration, excretion, growth, reproduction are carried out by one single cell. Here they have more cells. Cell have similar basic structure. For example, brain cell have different structure. Kidney cells will have different structure. Mouth cells will have different structure. Sperm will have different structure. Nerve cells, which is present in our brain, will have different structure. Cannot be divided into cells. We cannot divide them. Okay, but tissues from organ and organ give rise to organ system. Okay, so cells can be divided. So as we have discussed already, similar type of cells, they divide and they combine to form tissues, and tissues give rise to organs, and organs make a complete system. Okay, for example, plants, animals, fungi. Okay, so have you understood that? So you can take out a snapshot of this and you can study it later. Okay, now here we all know that different cells have different shape and size. Okay, so it is not such that red blood cell and leaf cell and the nerve cell, paramecium, they all are similar in size. No, they all have different shape. Also, they have different size. Okay, do you know which cell is the largest cell? Okay, largest living cell. It is ostrich egg. Okay, you may be surprised to know that, children, the egg which is given by an ostrich is actually not an egg. It is egg, but it is a cell. Okay, so it is the largest cell, and longest animal cell is the nerve cell. This nerve cell which is present in our brain, which makes our brain. Okay, so that is the longest animal cell. Okay, so same nerve cell is present in human body, human brain, same nerve cell is present in animal brain. So this is the longest animal cell. Okay, so we have already understood that cell is the smallest unit that is capable of performing life functions. These are the various, this is the internal structure of cell. We will study about the cell in detail in our next classes. I hope, children, you have understood what is a cell. You have understood what is the function of cell, why cell is called as the structural and functional unit of life. We have also discussed few of the human cells, okay, including nerve cells and other cells. We have also differentiated between unicellular and multicellular organisms. I hope today's class turned out to be great fun and informative for you, and I will see you in our next class, children. Take care and have a nice day.